Just take us through the kind of clients that you work with. You have public sector banks, private sector banks, and what are the kind of requests that they come up with typically?
So we work with almost every kind of financial institution and financial services model in this country, right from the largest PSU bank in India to an international bank to an NBFC to a digitally fintech who's venture backed. And all of them are looking for insights to enhance the credit file on a particular borrower. And the second thing they're looking for is if they have given a loan to a particular borrower, they're looking for insights to understand the borrower behavior after dispersal, to look for any early warning signals, because the NPA problem is another huge problem that we have in the country today. And even after giving out the loans, a lot of loans are going bad. So the crediWatch insights and our intelligence can be used not only at the time of lending, but it also can be used after lending to monitor borrowers. And this is one of the two large requests that we get from our customers.
Did you have a tough time convincing financial companies, institutional lenders to come on board for this service?
So the first 1.5 years was a challenging time for us in terms of convincing the institutions to trust. At that point, we were a 10% startup. Of course, we are much larger today. We are almost 60. But luckily for us, I think that there was a lot of interest from the banks themselves because of what had happened with ILFS at that point and a lot of other scams that had happened. They were also making proactive measures to improve the technology and analytics at their end to kind of prevent these losses. So we were able to get onto pilots with these banks and give them a chance to use our product. And after they saw the results, we've been lucky that we've had most of these institutions have signed up with us. We have over 20 plus customers today.
So now data economy is a very prickly subject also in India right now, because rules are still being formed. The Indian government is still trying to figure out what's the best way forward. How does that impact you? And also privacy. That's another concern that comes up, right? When you get into credit score and different aspects of monitoring the financial health of a company or of an individual. So how are you keeping that balance?
So we've always been mindful of that. So even in terms of my own background, I'm a lawyer. I'm licensed in 2 countries, New York and India. And when we set up this company itself, we understood the impact of regulations on the kind of work that we do. So whatever public data that we source, is what we call RTI-able or open data. India has signed on an open data treaty, and they make a lot of information available to the public for consumption. And then if you look at data that we get from unregistered small businesses, it's taking their consent. So we don't take any private data without their consent.
The future, you've been touted as one of the future leaders for tomorrow in India, driving grassroots innovation. Just tell us, what are your survival mantras or tips for young startups who are working in the unexplored spaces?
So when we started crediWatch, right, there was a lot of wave of funding on B2C and e-commerce startups, and we were in the B2B space. So some of the struggles that we faced then are kind of similar to the situation that we have today because of the crunch in the economy. So one of the key things that we did in the beginning was bootstrap. That means we managed with our own resources. We managed to secure small contracts with customers, and we kind of bootstrapped, and we didn't raise large amounts of funding in the first year, but we focused on building the product. So from that perspective, if you had an innovative team today, you need to bootstrap and focus on building your product at this point. That's what I would say. And the second thing is one thing we've found out that if you're doing the right work and you have the right product market fit, the investors will find you. You don't need to find them. So that's my advice for everybody. And that's what happened to us for every round of funding, that the investors found us. Because they felt that what we were doing kind of fit into their mandate. So I would tell startups at this point to focus on building the product that fit and finding product market fit. Because if you're doing the right thing, then the investors, is their job to look for the right startup. They'll come find you.